Hey everyone, welcome back to the Deep Dive.
Always great to be back.
Today we're diving into the world of e-commerce. It's something we all use pretty much every day, buying stuff online. But have you ever stopped to think about what's actually going on behind the scenes?
I think a lot of people will be surprised by the complexity of it, actually.
Yeah, for sure. We've got some really interesting material here that breaks down the whole thing, from like the basic definition of what e-commerce even is to the trends that are going to shape how we shop in the future.
Right. It's way more than just click and add to cart, that's for sure.
Okay, so let's start with the fundamentals. Um, when we talk about e-commerce, what are we actually talking about? Beyond just buying stuff online, what's the real definition?
Well, technically e-commerce or electronic commerce is just it's any kind of buying or selling that happens over an electronic network. And these days that pretty much means the internet.
Right, right, the internet. So anything we buy online, basically.
Mhm.
But our sources suggest it's actually a lot more than just, the website or the app itself.
Absolutely. One of the key things to remember about successful e-commerce is that the product isn't just the thing you're buying. It's the whole experience.
Oh, I see. So it's not just about the digital storefront.
Exactly. Think about it like, have you ever had a really great online shopping experience?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, and what made it so great? Was it just the item itself, or was it, I don't know, was it how easy the website was to use, how fast the shipping was?
Oh, yeah, all of that.
Yeah,
Like if I can find what I need quickly, that's huge for me.
exactly. Or, what about a terrible experience? What made it so bad?
Sometimes it's like hidden fees or uh, the website's just confusing and I can't find what I'm looking for.
Right, right. So all of that, the good and the bad, that's all part of the product in e-commerce. It's the whole journey.
I like that, the whole journey.
Hmm.
So if we think about that journey, right, the customer's journey, where do we even start? Like, what are the main stops along the way when we're using an e-commerce platform?
Well, most e-commerce platforms, whether it's a website or an app, they're kind of structured around these key landing points.
Landing points, okay.
Yeah. And the first one you usually hit is the home screen.
Makes sense, the home screen, like the front door, basically.
Exactly. And the goal of that first screen is just to give you a sense of what the platform's all about, what kind of products they offer, maybe some featured deals or promotions.
Right, just a quick overview. So then from there, um, let's say I see a category I'm interested in, like, I don't know, electronics or clothing. Where does that take me?
Then you'd click on that category and you'd land on what's called the product listing page.
Product listing page.
Yeah. And this is where you'll see all the different options within that category. But, it's not just a random jumble of products.
Yeah.
No, they use all sorts of tricks to make this page really effective. Like you'll have filtering options so you can narrow down the results by price, by brand, by customer ratings, all kinds of stuff.
Oh, yeah, the filters, those are lifesavers, especially when there are like a zillion products to choose from.
Right. And then there's sorting too. So you can, sort by price, sort by popularity, whatever you want.
Okay, so I filtered, I sorted, and I see a product that catches my eye. What's next?
You click on that product and it takes you to the product description page.
This is where they try to reel you in.
Yeah, basically. This is where you'll find all the details about the product. The materials, the dimensions, the features, all that stuff.
Plus, like, the juicy descriptions, the professional photos.
Exactly. And of course, the price. And another really important thing on this page is the customer reviews.
Oh, yeah, the reviews. I always check those.
Yeah, most people do. They can be super influential in someone's decision to buy or not. You'll also often see suggestions for similar products or, products that go well with the one you're looking at.
Like, people who bought this also bought that.
Right, exactly. It's all about, giving you as much information as possible to help you make a decision.
Okay, I'm sold. I'm hitting that add to cart button. Where am I off to now?
Well, that takes you to the cart page.
The cart. My virtual shopping basket.
Uh-huh, pretty much. But it's not just a list of items. This is where you can, review your order, make sure everything's correct, maybe change the quantities, remove something you've changed your mind about.
Right, that's where I'm like, do I really need 3 of these?
Exactly. And you'll also see the total cost here, including any shipping or taxes.
Important to check those before you commit.
For sure. And then, once you're happy with everything, you're ready to move on to the payment page.
The moment of truth.
Yeah. This is where you'll enter your delivery address, your payment details, all that good stuff.
And this is also where, security is a big concern. I always feel a little nervous entering my credit card information online.
Yeah, that's understandable. Platforms put a lot of effort into making sure this stage is super secure. They use encryption and all sorts of other technologies to protect your information.
So I've made the purchase, I've paid. What happens next?
Well, that's when you usually get redirected to the order tracking page.
Ah, yes. The page I obsessively refresh every 5 minutes.
I know the feeling. But yeah, this is where you can see the status of your order. Has it shipped yet? Where is it now? When's it expected to arrive?
And usually there's a tracking number so I can, like, stalk the delivery truck on a map.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so that's the whole, like, structure of the platform, right?
Yeah.
Those key screens. But before we even get to that point, how do these e-commerce businesses even get us to their platforms in the first place? Our source talks about something called customer acquisition.
Yeah, customer acquisition is all about how businesses attract new customers.
Makes sense. So how do they do it?
Well, our source highlights three main channels. The first one is direct.
Direct.
Yeah. This is when, you already know what website or app you want to use, and you just type in the URL directly or open the app.
Okay, so, like, if I want to buy something from Amazon, I just go straight to Amazon.com.
Exactly. That's direct.
Simple enough.
Yeah.
What about the other ways?
The second channel is organic.
Organic.
Yeah. This is when customers find the platform through a search engine, like Google.
Oh, right. So if I search for, like, best headphones and an e-commerce site pops up in the results and I click on it, that's organic.
Exactly. The e-commerce business hasn't paid to be in those search results. They're there because Google thinks their site is relevant to my search.
Got it. So what's the third channel?
The third channel is paid.
Paid.
And this one's pretty straightforward. This is when customers arrive at the platform because they clicked on an ad.
Oh, yeah, the ads. Those are everywhere online.
Right. They could be, banner ads on websites, sponsored posts on social media, or even those ads that appear at the top of search engine results pages.
Okay, so those are the three main ways they get us to their platform. Direct, organic, and paid. So once to there, how do we actually find what we're looking for?
Well, that's the product search part of the journey.
Product search. I mean, there's the search bar, obviously.
Yeah, the search bar is definitely the most straightforward way. If you know exactly what you want, you just type it in.
But what if you're not sure what you want, or you just want to browse?
Well, there's also menu navigation. Most platforms have, pretty detailed menus that let you browse through different categories and subcategories.
Right, so it's like kind of like walking through the aisles of a physical store.
Yeah, kind of like that.
Okay, so search bar, menus, what else?
Well, you've also got things like homepage recommendations. These are, those curated selections you often see right when you land on the site. They might be popular items, trending products, or even, things based on your past browsing history.
Oh, right. So they're trying to, like, anticipate what I might be interested in.
Exactly. And then there are the category listings, which we talked about earlier, and we can't forget about sponsored products.
Sponsored product?
Yeah, these are basically ads that are, like, embedded within the regular product listings.
Seeky.
Haha, yeah, a bit. They're usually marked in some way, so you know they're ads, but they can still be pretty effective.
Okay, so even when I'm just browsing, there's advertising mixed in. Got it.
Right. And our source also mentions, landing through a search engine as part of product search.
What does that mean?
Well, think about it. If you do a very specific search on Google, you might land directly on the product page you need without even seeing the platform's homepage.
Oh, yeah, that happens sometimes. So I'm bypassing the whole, like, curated experience they've set up.
Exactly. And that kind of ties back to that organic customer acquisition we talked about earlier.
Got it. So I've navigated, I've searched, I've found the product, maybe I've chosen a size or a color, and now I'm clicking Add to Cart. What's next in this journey?
Okay, so after that, the source actually mentions scheduling. Choosing a location, date, and time.
Scheduling, like when I want the product to arrive.
Yeah, exactly. Now, this isn't relevant for every online purchase, obviously.
Right. I don't think I can schedule my new socks to arrive at a specific time. Yeah.
No, probably not. But for certain types of e-commerce, especially services or deliveries that require coordination, it's a really important step.
Okay, so like if I'm ordering groceries online, I need to choose a delivery slot.
Right, or if you're booking a flight, you need to choose your travel dates.
Makes sense. So after scheduling, what's next?
Well, then it's on to payment. Choosing your payment method, entering your details, and then, of course, applying any offers or discounts you might have.
Gotta love a good discount code.
Absolutely. And then, finally, you click that place order button, and you're officially done.
Well, not quite done, right.
Mm-hmm.
Then comes the agonizing wait for the package to arrive.
Aha, yeah, that's the tracking for arrival stage.
Refreshing that tracking page like a crazy person.
I know, I do it too.
Okay, so then finally the package arrives.
Right.
Delivery of the product.
Right, and that delivery can be offline, like, the physical package arriving at your door, or online if it's a digital product.
Oh, right, like an ebook or software.
Exactly. And then lastly, there's always the possibility of returns and replacement if something goes wrong.
Ah, yes, the return process.
Yeah.
Hopefully I won't need that.
Well, hopefully not, but a good return policy is definitely important for building customer trust.
Right, it makes you feel more confident about buying from that company again. Okay, so we've covered the whole journey, from how they get us to the platform to what happens if we need to return something. It's pretty amazing how much goes on behind the scenes, right?
Yeah, it's a lot more complex than people realize.
So the world of e-commerce is always changing, isn't it? What are some of the big trends that are going to shape how we shop online in the future?
Oh, there are so many exciting developments happening. One of the biggest trends right now is augmented reality.
Augmented reality, or AR. We hear a lot about that these days.
Yeah, and it's starting to have a real impact on e-commerce.
But how does it actually, improve the shopping experience?
Well, it's all about bridging the gap between the digital and the physical. Like, imagine being able to, see how a new sofa would look in your living room before you buy it.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Right. Or, virtually trying on clothes using your phone's camera.
So it's like taking some of the guesswork out of online shopping.
Exactly. It can really reduce uncertainty and, potentially lead to fewer returns because people have a better sense of what they're getting.
That makes sense. Okay, what else is on the horizon?
Well, another huge trend is AI and ML personalization.
Artificial intelligence and machine learning. Buzzwords of the century.
Haha. Yeah, they're everywhere. But they're actually, having a big impact on e-commerce too.
Yet how?
Well, every time you interact with an e-commerce platform, you're leaving a digital trail. What you click on, what you search for, what you buy. And AI and ML algorithms can analyze all that data to build up a really detailed profile of your preferences.
So it's like they're getting to know me.
In a way, yeah. And that allows them to create a much more personalized experience for you.
Personalize how?
Well, you might get more relevant product recommendations, or your search results might be customized to show things you're more likely to be interested in. You might even see personalized pricing or offers.
That's kind of cool, but also a little creepy. Like, they know me too well.
Yeah, there's definitely a balance to be struck there. But the goal is, to make the shopping experience more efficient and enjoyable.
Okay, so AI and AR. What other trends are shaping the future of e-commerce?
Well, we're also seeing a big increase in the use of chatbot technology.
Chatbots. Those little windows that pop up asking if you need help.
Yeah, those. But they're becoming a lot more sophisticated.
Really?
Yeah, early chatbots were, pretty basic. They could only answer simple questions. But now with advances in AI, they're becoming much more intelligent. They can actually, understand your questions and provide more helpful answers.
So they're not just giving you, a list of FAQs.
Right. They can actually help you navigate the site, answer questions about specific products, even troubleshoot problems. It's like having a virtual store assistant available 24/7.
Wow, that's impressive.
What else is changing?
Another big one is the rise of voice search.
Voice search. So, using Siri or Alexa to shop online. Exactly. As voice assistants become more popular, e-commerce platforms are having to adapt. They're optimizing their sites and apps for voice search, so you can just say what you're looking for and it'll pop up.
That's super convenient.
Yeah, especially if you're, cooking or driving or something and can't use your hands.
Okay, voice search, chatbots, what else?
We're also seeing a lot more subscription models these days.
Subscriptions.
Yeah. You probably have subscriptions for streaming services like Netflix or Spotify.
Yeah, of course.
But now we're seeing subscriptions for all sorts of things, like,
Mhm.
razors, coffee, even clothes.
Oh, wow. So instead of buying something once, you subscribe and get it delivered regularly.
Exactly. It's a way for businesses to build customer loyalty and create a more predictable revenue stream.
And it's convenient for the customer too, right?
Yeah, you don't have to remember to reorder every time you run out of something.
Makes sense. Okay, anything else?
One more. We can't forget about personalized advertising.
Oh, yeah, the ads. We can't escape them.
Haha, true. But they're getting a lot more personalized these days.
How so?
Well, with all the data that companies are collecting about us online, they can tailor ads to our specific interests and browsing history.
So it's like the ads are following me around the internet.
In a way, yeah. But the goal is to, show us ads for things we're actually likely to be interested in, so they're less annoying.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Right.
So, wow, that's a lot to take in. It sounds like e-commerce is this like really complex and constantly evolving ecosystem.
It really is. It's so much more than just buying something online.
It's a whole experience
Yeah.
from, how the platform is designed to how we find products to all these new technologies that are changing the game.
Exactly. And it's all about, creating a seamless, personalized, and ultimately satisfying experience for the customer.
Well, mission accomplished, I think. This has been a really insightful deep dive into the world of e-commerce.
It's been a pleasure.
Now, for you, the listener, I want you to think about your own online shopping experiences. Have you noticed these different elements we've talked about? The platform structure, the way you find products, the impact of these emerging trends. And how do you think e-commerce is going to continue to evolve in the future? What changes do you hope to see? Take some time to reflect on your own experiences and see how these principles are playing out in your digital life.
Really interesting questions.
Thanks for joining us for this deep dive. Until next time, happy shopping.
See you next time.